Hi guys, welcome once again. Grab your cup of tea and let's have these conversations. Hi guys, welcome once again to Tea with Miss T. I'm Tabele, and once again it is exciting to be here. So for those that are coming for the first time, do subscribe. Do not leave without subscribing. And those that have been here, I'm saying guys, let's keep the love going and let's keep the conversations flowing. Okay, so today we're going to speak about a very touchy subject, right? Emotional brokenness. This is something that we hardly ever speak about, especially, to people that we are close to, because we don't want to be judged, thinking that we can't deal with issues or we can't deal with situations. But I thought, okay, it's one of the topics that's very close to my heart. I've been there. So today I'm just going to share my journey and also just to share how I broke myself out of it and told myself, you know what, girl, you are breaking out of being broken. All right, so my story is a very interesting one, because one would think that you would be broken maybe when you are older, and most of these things actually happen while we are very young, and you grow with it and realize that you are actually coming to a point where now you can't deal with it. You isolate yourself from people, or the worst thing that could happen is just you finding yourself where you're not supposed to be, right? So with me, I'm just going to start way back, in the years when I was still in school, right? This is where my part of brokenness actually took place. And the sad thing is that, being broken by kids, when you are in junior secondary school and in high school, we are literally kids. And just imagine how long it actually took me to actually break out of it, and just release myself. Had to sit myself down, but I'll just get to that part, how I set myself down to say, you know what, it is enough. Okay, so with high school, secondary school, one thing that I'm always told is, when I used to be a child, I was bubbly, I was a very lively child, right? And just the other day, my parents were saying, we never really expected to see you grow up to be this kind of person, someone who's this quiet, who's this shy and reserved. And one thing I never told them is that there was sometimes, I usually say, I am a shy person, but there's just so much that went into me being a shy person. It depends on where I am and the kind of people that I am with. There are some of my friends that would say, no, Zagan is not shy. And there are those that can say, yep, she actually is. But I would love to give an excuse that I'm just lazy to talk generally. I'm not a convo kind of a person, but I'm a heart-to-heart person. That one, I'm good on one-on-one talks. I just can't do like group talks and whatever. So just going back to high school and secondary school, so much of my self-confidence got stripped away, because of the experiences that I had during those years. And the things that, my classmates would speak, and the kind of names they would call me, And there was just so much, and with that I became this one reserved person. I lost my ability to voice out. I lost my ability to speak about anything generally. I just became this shy girl. Like, I isolated myself from people. And one thing that I did, what was worse, is that I became to have this defense mechanism. Like, I'm very, very defensive when coming to my feelings, okay? And I became very sensitive. Like, I'm very sensitive. How you speak to me and the words that you use, I'm very, 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 very sensitive to those. So you need to check yourself. So if you don't know me, you might think, maybe this one, I'm a crybaby. I cry about everything. When I'm happy, I cry. When I'm sad, I cry. When I'm angry, I cry. Like, it's just one of those. But then I just remember how much, my experience in school changed how I saw myself, changed how I saw people in general. I began closing myself up, especially to people. A few years back, I remember sharing with my mom, because my sister knew the experiences. I'm one person who used to come back from school, cry for days. Like, I would cry, and my sister would always ask me, what is wrong? And I'd be like, no, there's nothing wrong, I'm okay. Like, I cried every day when I had to come back from school. And the sad thing is that I couldn't share with my mom. I couldn't share, obviously, with my dad. And I just began to be this loner. I began to feel safe in my own space. Like, even now, it's something that I still need to work on. I feel that I'm more safer when I'm alone than when I'm around people. It's a sad story, I know. And so with that, a lot changed. Yeah, so I remember a few years back sitting with my mom and sister. So my sister always knew, obviously. My younger sister, she's my best friend. She's my, confidant. We share everything. And she knew the experiences that I was going through during my school years. And I remember how sad my mom felt. Years later, I'm talking about 3 or 4 years back when we had this conversation, and my mom became emotional. Like, how come you went through so much and you didn't share with me or anyone, Jay? Like, for me, honestly, guys, if I were to be told, choose between jumping off a cliff and going back to school, I would definitely jump off the cliff. So I'm just kidding, guys. I wouldn't. But honestly speaking, my school years are some that I wouldn't want to go back to. I wouldn't want to go back there because so much was stripped away from me, and it was just one of those things, one of those experiences that you just don't want to go back into. Having to wake up every morning going to school was a struggle for me. The thing is that because I've been a very reserved, self-disciplined child, I couldn't think of doing the worst of things like banking classes and doing other things that I just just enjoy things. I had to go to school like a normal child, come back, cry myself to sleep. The next day it would be the same thing, and it went on and on and on. And so with that being said, so that was the experience I had, and it took years. So I'll share that part. It took years for me to get out or to break free from this point of my life of being broken. It took time. It took years. I'm talking 3 years back, maybe 4 years back. This was 2016 maybe. That was the time where I had to sit myself down, getting back to that. And I said to myself, Tsakani, this is it. One, people will not always be kind to you, and don't expect everyone to even like you. Don't expect everyone to be accommodative. Don't expect from people generally. Live your life and then take back your confidence. I had to go back to a place where the brokenness began and try to speak confidence to myself daily. Like, this thing happens to me daily. I go to the mirror every morning to speak confidence to myself, to say, you are worth it, you deserve it. And the thing about me now is that you can't tell me this thing is not for you, or you are not worthy of something, or certain things are meant for certain people. Like, at this point in my life, you can't tell me that, because I believe that anything that I put my mind to and I say, this is what I want to go for, I'm gonna go for it without even thinking twice. Like, I'm at that point in my life where words don't even break me. Like, if maybe we are close, maybe personally, like very, very close, I'm talking my immediate family maybe, and my very close friends. Like, if you were to speak something, maybe I might be broken, but the thing about it is that I'm gonna tell you that, no, you don't get to speak like that. I didn't like how you spoke. But someone else outside those people, no matter what you say to me, I choose not to be broken. The moment I set myself down to say, you know what, it is enough. You have cried enough. You have isolated yourself enough. You have locked yourself up enough. And you have beaten yourself up enough. It is enough. It is time to stand up and own up. Own your own confidence. Like, if you are not confident, like, even whenever you walk into a room, it's like everyone can tell. Like, that's how it feels. It's like you feel like, oh my God, everyone can see that I'm not confident. And I thought to myself, okay, so now I'm in business, right? And when you're thinking business, there will always be your elevator pitch, there will always be business presentations. And I thought to myself, so it's like, if you were to do a presentation once, like a business presentation with a panel, and then just after you are done, and one of the panelists decides to say to you, what you just spoke here is crap, are you going to cry yourself out of the room, or are you going to stand and take it? So sometimes you just need to grow a thick skin and realize that people's words are how they feel at the time, but that does not mean this is who you are. Just because someone has rejected something you are doing or has rejected you doesn't necessarily mean you have to reject yourself. Just because someone does not approve of something that you are doing, or they don't approve of you, does not mean that you shouldn't approve of yourself. Just because someone is trying to take away the self-confidence from you does not mean you have to be you shouldn't be confident. Walk into a room as though you are the only person there. That's the attitude now that I carry everywhere I go, as though I'm the only person there, because I told myself that it is enough. Like, I cannot do it anymore. So the brokenness took years, and breaking free from it, I had to sit myself down. There are people, unfortunately, that people, like I always say, that people are different. We respond differently to situations. we respond differently to the kind of things that happen in our lives. And there are people that will need professional people to sit with them, take them through that journey of their lives for them to actually break out of being broken emotionally. But there are those that are able to just, be like, Bona. There are some people who it's like they are literally wearing confidence. No matter what you say, how you say it, they just don't care. And they are not going to find themselves shrinking because of something that someone said. There are those kind of people. And like I say, people don't respond different. Like, people respond differently to how certain things happen to them. And I just want to encourage someone who's going through emotional, brokenness, someone who's going through a situation where you feel it's beyond you, like, I can't. One thing I can say, first thing first, is that nothing is permanent. If situations were permanent, we would have probably died from heartbreaks and whatever. No situation is permanent. Everything comes and goes. Every situation comes and goes. And don't let anyone lie to you to say you don't deserve something. You don't deserve, this thing is meant for these kind of people. Never allow anyone to tell you that. Even if they say it, don't believe it. It's a lie. Everyone has a purpose in life. We all have our own journeys. My journey will never be the same as your journey. But just because my journey is different from yours does not necessarily mean that my journey is not worth me walking in it. Do not find yourself isolating yourself from people. Speak to someone. Like, if you can't deal with something, speak to someone that you trust. It doesn't have to be maybe a mother, a father, or a brother, a sister, a friend. Speak to someone, even if it's a stranger. Like, I've had situations in my life where I've had strangers pour their hearts out to me without even knowing who I am. And I've always known how to respond, funny enough. That's just about me. Like, with the kind of seasons I've had of brokenness, it's like broken people have always been drawn to me. And somehow I just find myself sitting with people and I'm meeting someone for the first time, and the first conversation would be them pouring their heart out to me, and I'd be like, okay, what is going on? This person is telling me deep stuff and I don't even know them. And I really thank God that I've always had the wisdom to know how to respond to what they're going through. And I feel that my season of brokenness might have taken maybe those years of me being confident, but it has really not taken anything away from me, because it taught me that, you know what, whenever you put your mind to something, you are able to do it. And it taught me that nothing lasts forever. Things come and go. People come and go. Seasons come and go. And sometimes I know it becomes a little hard when you're going through the hardest season of your life. And you're thinking, this kind of season might never pass. It looks like it whenever you are in a certain kind of situation. It's like, this situation is not going to pass, or this season of being broken, will I always feel this way? No, you won't. And will this thing be here forever? No, it won't. And one thing also, hey guys, I don't want to miss this one out. Everything that I've said would just be wrong if I don't mention this. Pray. Pray, pray, pray. Like, I don't think that any situation that I've ever found myself in, if it had not been for prayer, I wouldn't have made it. The only thing that has made me to be able to stand is because of me being able to pray. And pray for yourself. Like, sometimes I know how much we love saying, oh, please pray for me, I'm going through this. Everyone is going through something. And reality is that it's not, people don't have time. Like, let's be honest, people don't have time to be praying for us all the time. You need to teach yourself how to pray for yourself all the time. Like, no one is ever going to pray for you more than yourself. So whatever that you go through, the only strength you will find, it is through praying. You need to pray. Pray for yourself. Like, don't expect smang to pray for you. Pray for yourself. So that's one, like, this is actually the first thing I should have started with, prayer, because it is the only thing that carries us through situations. And so just be encouraged in that. If there's one thing that you'll have to take from this conversation, is that keep on praying for yourself. No one is going to do it better than yourself. You are the one that knows how you feel, what you're going through, what you're facing. Even if you share it with someone else, a person will understand to a certain extent, but they are not you, and they will not feel the same way as you do. So make sure that you pray for yourself all the time. Even on days where you feel like, oh, do I really need to pray? Do not stop praying for yourself. Okay, guys, so this is what I wanted to share about my experience of brokenness. Do not allow anyone to take your power. Do not allow anyone to take your confidence. Do not isolate yourself from people. Do not find yourself locked up in a corner somewhere dealing with things alone. Find someone that you trust. Share with them. Pour your heart out. And more than anything, pour out your heart to God. Okay, guys, so don't forget to subscribe, and invite your buddies to also come and subscribe. And also, guys, you can share with us some of the broken experiences that you've went through, and would love to hear about that. After all, we are in this world to inspire each other, to encourage each other, to give each other courage, hope, and to heal through each other's experiences. So with that being said, it was lovely being here, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Tea with Miss T. Till next Wednesday, with love and peace from moi.